All right. So we're coming up to a stand. And when we find the standing position, the feet are shoulder distance apart. So they can be wider than your hips, right? We want to feel a really nice wide base within the legs. And just feeling into soft knees. So rather than like straightening your legs, there's a softness here, and there's a feeling like the earth really holds you from below. So there's a weight of the body into the floor. And with that, you might shift your weight a little bit forward and back in your feet and sense that energy moving down. And as we start to land in our body, let's start to feel into an ujjayi sound of breath. And let's just make sure everyone's muted. I think there might be one person that's still not. So all four corners of your feet land down firmly to the floor. And as the tailbone lengthens to the earth, there's this feeling of rebounding, of lifting of the crown to the sky in a way that decompresses the spine. And we'll start here with the hands facing the body. In a really simple movement, we'll inhale and we'll lift the hands up. And as your hands lift to the sky, you're turning your palms up. It's called Buddha holding the world. And then as you exhale, the palms once more face the body, they glide down. And then we just press the palms down as you exhale. So the palms press to the floor. And we inhale, lifting up the top of the inhale, the palms press up. And as you exhale, the palms press down. So just like yoga, the movement encourages a deeper and longer breath. Yeah, so you're moving with the length of your inhale, inhaling up. And exhaling, palms pressing down. Yeah. And for the last three, I just would invite you to close your eyes and listen to the sound of your ujjayi breath leading the movement. Good, last one. So we'll meet here with the hands just in front of the belly. And now we'll do one side at a time. So as the right hand goes up, the left hand will go down, and we're going to soften the knees and bend towards the left side. So the right hand reaches up, inhale, and then we spiral the pinky finger of the right hand in towards the body. The hands change, and then we switch sides. So we inhale, come up, bend, yeah, and then exhale, left hand, pinky finger spirals in, we meet center, and we do the other side. So this is inhale, and exhale, knees soften as everything comes back to the center. And then we lengthen the legs out, heels of the hands press both up and down. And then exhaling. And again, we soften the eyes and we close them. We get into the rhythm of the movement. So inhale, press down and up. And exhale. And inhale. So awakening in the gallbladder channel, side body. Inhale and exhale. We're just going to do one more each side to set your own time, inhaling. And anytime we're doing Qigong, we're feeling into this ocean of energy that surrounds the body. So it's as though you're pressing into water as you move. Good. And then again, we hold the hands right in front of the belly and we soften the knees. And let's just sense into the center of the palm. And you can palpate the hands gently in front of your hands. And quiet your mind down so that you can sense into that buzzing quality of energy into the length of your hands, fingertips, Buddha hands, the golden hands of healing. Palpating the air between the palms and sensing that there's energy that exists in front of the body. And then let's take the left hand to the heart space and the right hand to the belly. And meet our own physical body this morning, however we've arrived on the mat. And all of us is welcome here. Come into the body, and feel into all of these layers of our oceanic being, every layer of emotion, every layer of experience, all seen and held lovingly here. Then we take a deep breath in through the nose, and let's hold the breath for a moment in the chest and transform that breath into energy, into prana. And then part your lips and exhale. Good, last one, inhale, filling out front, back, and sides of the lungs. And then hold the breath for a moment and feel the breath transformed into chi. And then once more, we part the lips and we exhale. Both hands float together at the center of the heart. We shift the gaze point to the space between our eyebrows. We set an intention to create a container around this practice to be on our mat within our body and our breath for the next little while. And we'll start with a breath together. So just a nice deep breath in. And a clearing exhale out of your mouth. And then let's start with the sound of a om. So deep breath in. Om. Nice, so releasing your hands, and let's toe heel the feet together. And we'll take our hands, interlace them, and press the hands down towards your knees. Yeah, and then in that shape, let's roll through the legs. Yeah, so just doing circles. And I'm gonna see who it is that isn't muted. Who are you? Maybe Christina or Annie. I can't quite tell on your screen. Just have a look. I think it's Anne. Could you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Okay, cool. All right, other way. Circling around. So really warming into your legs, your feet. And then stilling the circle, and we'll slowly fold forward. So bringing your fingertips towards the floor. Your knees can bend a lot, and I invite you to do that so you can really feel the support of your legs for your belly. Yeah, so you're folding down, feeling that support of the legs and allowing your chest to feel held. So I would imagine that your knees would be deeply bent here. You can draw a little yes action or no action with your head. And we'll be here for 3. Seeing if you can really feel into exhale, allowing your head to be soft. So there's a melting of your head towards the floor for 2. And then we'll plant the hands to the mat, and we'll inhale and open the chest, and let's walk the feet back and find high plank pose. So high plank pose, let's shift the weight forward into the toes, and the feet are at hip width distance apart. As you exhale, bring the left heel to the left, and the right heel will be touching the left toe. So you're kind of tickling the back of your ankle with your toes. And as you're in this shape, I want you to really squeeze your left hip underneath you. I'm just going to be here for 3. And exhaling deeply into this side for 2. And then inhale, come back through your center, and exhale, do the other side. So keep both hands on the floor, though it's tempting to lift them up. We pull the right hip forward and underneath you, press into the whole of the right hand, and then breathe, and especially focusing on those exhales. So deep, full exhales. Can you squeeze your glutes, lengthen through the tailbone, final breath out. And then inhale, come back through center. Shift forward for a breath in, and as you exhale, we're coming all the way down onto your belly. For 3, elbows will brush your waist. Good for 2, and all the way down. So the fingertips come onto the wood on the outside of your mat. Good, and as you inhale, we're going to lift up to the left, and we're making a circle. So we're gonna come through center as you inhale, exhale down to the right. Circling around over to the left, lifting up, big breath in. Yeah, you guys got it. I want you to really lean into the sound of your breath to guide you. So again, this is a repetitive movement, a japa of sorts, So we're feeling into the breath leading us and then moving in the other direction. So we just seamlessly switch sides and move over to the right. We lift and dive down. Good, inhaling. So freeing up the energy in the chest and the heart. We hold a tremendous amount of energy in the body, often locked up inside muscles, undigested emotions and experiences. Last one, we inhale, come out, squeeze the elbows in, drag the fingertips back, lengthen through the legs and open your heart. So really press the front of the pelvis down. Huge breath, like giant breath into the nose. We're going to hold the breath for a moment. So breathe in. One more sip. Hold. 3, lengthen the legs. Breath into chi. 2, and then open the mouth. Exhale. Lift the chin to the sky and release your forehead all the way down. Bring your hands to the mat. Sit yourself back into child's pose. And then we'll take our fist in child's pose and reach back, and we're going to tap our kidneys. So you take your hands into loose little fists and then just tap down your lumbar spine, down to the sacrum. So starting up at your ribs and then tapping your loose fist down. And again, unlocking any of that kidney related energy, which is usually associated with fear and shock, which to some level we've all experienced in the last couple years, really, but especially last week, not knowing what's happening ahead of us. Okay, last couple. Okay, and the hands come forward. We'll keep the legs as they are. Let's slide the hands back towards you. And as you inhale, the left hand will sweep back behind you. And as you inhale, let's keep the hips on the heels for the first one. We just sweep the right arm all the way up and over. And then exhale, right hand sweeps along the floor. And inhale, the left arm reaches up and over. Big breath. And for the next few, you can lift your hips off your heels if you're feeling more open in the front body. So you inhale, lift, hips lift, stretching back, and then exhaling. So again, we're syncopating the breath with the movement. So your inhale lifts you up, and the length of your exhale brings you across. So listen to the sound of our own breath. We're going to do one more on each side. Lifting. Really stretching into the quads, the front body, last one there, breath. And then as you exhale, we'll swing both hands forward. We'll tuck our toes, lift the knees, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So chest presses back towards your thighs. Good. Okay, so first down dog. Many of you are already there, just shaking your head out, walking your legs out. So loosening in your low body. And we're here for another 2 breaths, long ujjayi. Right. And then coming back through center. And again, we'll bring those feet to hip width distance apart and rise high up onto the toes. And as you exhale, bring both heels to the left. Yeah. And then this time, bend the knees and swivel your left hip towards the floor. Yeah, good. And then inhale, come back through center, rise to the toes, heels come to the right. We'll bend the knees, we'll swivel the right hip towards the floor, we'll stretch into the left side body. And then back through center as you inhale, and let's reach the heels to the floor as you exhale. And then the right leg will reach back behind you, find an inhale breath. Good, exhale, bring your right knee to your nose, Virabhadrasana 1, left heel spirals to the floor. Inhale, 1 breath, arms up, look up to the palms, 1 breath. Exhale, hands frame right leg and fold, forehead towards right shin. So pull the hips back, forehead towards the right leg. We'll step the left foot forward to meet the right. Halfway lift. Exhale and fold down, forehead towards the shins. Good, bend the knees, Utkatasana, inhale, arms up, look up. Yeah, Utkatasana, breath. Exhale, fold, hands to the floor, forehead towards the shins, big breath out. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, walk or hop back to plank pose. Sneak your way through your own vinyasa. So find chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Nice. And then exhale, roll back over the toes, coming back and finding down dog. We'll rise to the toes, find an inhale breath. Good. Heels to the left, bend the knees. So coming into more breath to movement practice. Inhale, rise to the toes, in. Heels to the right, exhale, bend the knees, getting a little bit deeper with each round. We come back through center, inhale. Stretch the heels to the floor as you exhale. The left leg will reach to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Place the left foot between your hands. 0, 1. One breath. Inhale. Exhale, hands around the left leg and fold, forehead towards left shin. Beautiful. Inhale, step right foot forward to meet the left. Halfway lift. Exhale and fold down, forehead to shins. Utkatasana, sit low, reach your arms up and drishti towards the thumbs. Look up. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Step or hop your feet back, plank. Through chaturanga, bottom of exhale. Of course, all variations of vinyasa are welcome. Inhale, open the chest and heart. Please modify if you need to. And then let's roll back over the toes. Coming back and finding downward facing dog. A nice deep breath here and down dog, long spine. And heels reaching to the floor. We'll do one more round each side. So rise to the toes, in. Heels to the left, exhale. Swivel the hips. It's just like Surya B. Inhale. Bringing in the sun, right heel down, exhale, swivel, back through center. Heels stretch to the floor, big breath out. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, right foot comes down, 0, 1. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands frame right leg and fold, forehead towards the shin. Step, left foot forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Sit a little bit lower, Utkatasana, sweep the floor. Exhale and fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Nice. Exhale, step or float your feet back, plank. Nice. Through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, roll back over the toes. Coming back, downward facing dog, heels towards the floor. Rising to the toes. Last round here. Heels to the left as you exhale. Back through center, in. Heels to the right, exhale. Back through center, inhale. Stretch the heels to the floor as you exhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, 0, 1. Right heel down, both arms up. Good, drishti up. Exhale, hands frame left leg and fold, forehead to the shin. Step right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Sit low, inhale, arms up. Good. As you exhale, we'll sit lower and 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 lower until we're all the way down. And we're in Navasana. Good. Okay. So this one, maybe some of you have done this one with me before, and I do love it. Bring your weight to your left bum cheek and lift your right bum cheek off the floor. Your palms will touch. You're going to squeeze these knees really close in towards your chest. Palms touching, we'll interlace the fingers and release the index finger for Kali Mudra. It's a bit fierce, this one. Exhale, squeeze your knees over towards your left armpit. So we're just gonna do that 3 times. Exhale, squeeze it in. Your right bum cheek is off the floor, guys. Yep, squeeze. Good. Last one, I want you to squeeze the knees in, take your arms and rotate as much as you can towards your right. Good, and then come back through center and exhale, rotate as much as you can, like really challenge the range towards the right. Good, last one, in. Exhale, over to the right. Now squeeze the knees in, rotate even more. Rotate 3, good for 2. Okay, arms reaching up as you inhale. We'll take the left arm back behind you, left elbow down, and we're coming into forearm side plank. So first, let's just take this right arm all the way up and overhead and get as long as we possibly can there. So reaching long, stretching the fingertips towards the back of the room. Nice. And then as you exhale, the right hand will come all the way around in a big circle. It's going to reach forward as you bring your left hip towards the floor. So your right hand is reaching towards the back of your mat and the hip left hip is sinking down. And then we inhale, take right arm all the way up. Let's bring the hips towards the sky. And then exhale, sweep. Right arm underneath, left hip comes towards the floor. We should really feel that in the left side. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Good. And then exhale, sweep underneath and reach the right hand back. Whew. Last one. Inhale, stretch. We're going to hold there. 3, hips nice and high. Reach overhead. 2, can you lengthen the tailbone? And then exhale, bend the knees to come out. Bring your hips to the floor. Come back to Navasana. And then we'll do the other side. So we're here. We're just going to tilt over towards the right side. This left bum cheek is off the mat. We take Kali Mudra. Good. And then once you're here, lift through the spine and exhale, squeeze the knees towards the outside of the right arm. Okay, and then we just do that 3 times. Exhale, squeeze. Good. Exhale, squeeze. Some sneaky person's still not on mute. I don't know who it is. Okay, let's exhale, squeeze. Good. And then we take our hands and we exhale over to the left. And inhale back through center. And exhale over to the left. Challenge your range. And then inhale, come back a bit. This is our last one. I want you to exhale, come over to the left. Hold there and squeeze the knees in. Hold for 3. And Kali Mudra to the left, 2, squeeze. Good. And then arms up. I'll take the right arm towards the back of the mat. We're coming into forearm side plank. So lengthen out to the legs. Left arm reaches up and overhead. We give ourselves that delicious stretch all the way through the side body to begin with. Choose the angle of your right hand. So if you want it more challenging, right hand is in front of your elbow. And if you want a little bit easier, we take the right hand in front of the elbow, like so that the arm is at a perpendicular angle to your mat. As you exhale, take your left hand underneath you and reach your left hand towards the back of the room. Good. And then bring your right hip towards the floor. And then inhale, reach left arm up and over, hips high. Okay, if you need to modify, knees down. Hips come low, left arm reaches. Good. And then inhale up and over. If you have your hand in front of your elbow, that one is juicy. Exhale. Let's take the left hand underneath, hips low. And then we're going to inhale, lift, and then hold there for 3. So lift the hips high, stretch the left arm overhead. Let's flex the feet here and make sure that the legs are engaged for 2. And then bend the knees to come out. Bring your hips back to the floor. Bring ourselves forward. You might need to readjust the legs slightly. We'll cross the right ankle over the left. Okay, we're going to give ourselves a nice deep squeeze. Good. And we'll start to rock forward and back on the spine. So inhale back and exhale forward. And on the 3rd or 4th rock, we'll build up momentum enough so that the hands come right in front of your ankles and you can hop yourself back, finding your own vinyasa. Chaturanga. Inhale. Your cobra. Good. And then exhale, roll back over the toes, coming back and finding downward facing dog. So the chest is pressing back to your thighs here. Let's take a deep breath through the nose, all the way down, breathing down the back of the abdomen. Just like the breath could come down and touch your pubic bone. And then open mouth, exhale. All right, let's rise to the toes. Bring your heels to the left. Okay, this time we're going to take our right hand and reach it back by our feet. Yep. And then as your legs lengthen, this right arm reaches up and overhead. So huge breath in, sweeping right arm. Exhale, right hand reaches back by your feet as the knees bend. And then we inhale and lay ourselves out, like open your chest there. And then last one, take it up and over. You're more than welcome to bring your left knee down if you're modifying. Otherwise, let's lift your left inner thigh into your right one and point your toes. Okay, and then as you exhale, bring your left knee to touch your right elbow. And I know it's weird, it's your back leg, right? So your left leg will slot underneath your right one as you re-lengthen it. And then exhale, bring your left knee to touch your right elbow. Good, slot it back, point the toe, keep it up, inner thigh squeeze, last one. Left knee, right elbow, squeeze it in, hold there, 3. Build some warmth, 2. And then exhale, right hand down, left knee to nose. Either side plank or wild thing, left toes touch up and over right calf. We come into the shape as we lift the left arm to the sky and overhead. Good, so we're in either side plank. If you're in wild thing, really push into the floor. Let's open the heart for a breath. Nice. Vira 1, left foot steps forward. Right heel comes down. Inhale, come up into the shape, breath in. Warrior one, left foot forward. So square hips forward to the front of the room, that's it. Take your hands back behind, interlace your fingers behind your back. Open through the chest, lengthen out through your left leg, and we'll open through the heart here. Let's take the thumbs away from your sacrum. And then push into your inside of your right heel and lift your heart up. Keep lifting through the chest. Just opening to the sky. Last breath in. Exhale, left knee bends, and we're folding in. You can come here like at half mast and pull the left hip back. That might be the deepest expression of your pose. Some of you have a ton of space in your hips, right? And you're bringing that left shoulder down on the inside of your knee, and you're eventually reaching your forehead to the floor. Now, for all of us, I want us to do this. Come out of alignment, shift your left hip way off to the left. And then scoop your left hip underneath you. Pull it back in. And push the left heel into the floor. We have a final breath in. And then really heavy, soft eyes, soft cheeks, forehead to the earth. Breath out. Hands will frame your left leg. And we'll lengthen out the left leg for pyramid pose. So same thing here. We're going to pull the left hip back. And we're just folding in. 3 breaths. You can lengthen out through the front body. So let's all take a little ripple in the spine. So you wave the spine forward. You can use your fingertips. Get as long as you can in the front body. And then from your waist, you're hinging down. You can, of course, have a bent left knee here, right? If you're working with a bit of a tighter hamstring in today's practice. Okay, so let's hold there for 3. Gripping the muscles of the legs back to your bones. All the way from your ankle up towards the hips. Squeezing the center of the leg. Last breath out. Now the right foot is going to step 1 block's distance behind your left foot. So your right foot steps in. It's a block behind your left foot. So it's quite a short little stance. We're going to walk our hands to the left and roll to the outer edges of your feet for giraffe. Yep. If it feels weird, your legs are too wide, right? Your legs are quite narrow. You're on the outer edges of your feet. Yeah, it's like literally right up the gallbladder channel. So really nice to rock forward and back in those feet in this action. To the pinky toe and back towards the heel. And you'll notice, right, that really starts to get the outer line of the shin going. That's what we want. You can stay here, or you can add a twist by reaching your left arm to the sky. Yeah, and look up. If you have that, look up to the left hand, twisting, opening, final breath in, into half moon, left hand in front of left foot, right leg lengthens, right arm lifts to the sky, huge breath in. So long in the right side body, big breath in, right arm lifts. If you want Shavasana, just bend the right knee, lengthen to the tail, kicking back. So we'll be working a bit more deeply with the quads later on. So nice opportunity to get in there now. Hold for 3, push the floor away, open up for 2. If you're in Shavasana, re-lengthen, Virabhadrasana 2, right foot lands at the back of the mat. We'll inhale, reach the left arm all the way up and over, straight into an exalted shape. Deep breath in. Let's keep it moving. Hands windmill down around the left foot, pivot to the ball of the right one. Inhale, open through the chest along the lunge. Good. Standing splits, right leg lifts to the sky. Okay, so you can grab a hold of the back of your left leg. One or both hands. You can press down. You can even pull up with the left hand. A really fun one is taking your left hand to the outside of your left foot, and then taking your right hand around the back of your leg and grabbing a hold of your left forearm from the front. So if you can imagine that, I'm wrapping my right arm around the back of the left leg and I've reached around to the front of the left forearm. It creates like a little kickstand and it brings your chest down towards the left leg. So hold there for 3, lifting right leg nice and high, hold for 2. If you have any kind of binding, let's release. Right foot comes down to meet your left. Bend a halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Let's bend the knees. Inhale, arms reach up. Utkatasana. Twisting here, right elbow outside, left knee. Hands come together to touch at your heart. So any expression of the shape, we can open up the arms to fly. We can wrap the left arm around. Good. Maybe that half bind. So watch the right knee. Some of you need to pull that right knee back. Yeah, in line with the left. Okay, so long spine. You have a rod from your tail to your crown. And we're rotating, especially around your upper back. Yeah, open up, move your chest forward and spin the chest to the sky, looking up for your final breath. If you're in the bind, let's reach the left arm up and then we'll all meet in a fold. Okay, so let's fold forward. Let's bend the left knee and hang out there as you fold over your legs. If you have a lot of space in your hamstrings, consider crawling your fingertips forward as you do this. And then we'll hang out, bending your right leg, left leg straight. Back into your breath, a couple more each side. Bending one leg, hanging out with a straight opposite leg for a full round of breath. Yeah, nice. Shake your head out, the sides of the neck are long. And especially when we're releasing the gallbladder channel, we want to make sure that the shoulders aren't creeping up by the ears. So we're using our belly in all forward folds and ensuring that the side of the neck is long rather than using those upper traps. And the hands will slide back towards you. We'll rise up onto the toes. You have two options here, either Bakasana, knees into the backs of the arms, Bakasana prep, or even Malasana. If you're not doing arm balances today, let's just come into Malasana, yep, for 3 breaths. If you're up in Bakasana, getting nice and light as you squeeze the elbows and the knees towards the midline. That's it. Use your fingertips if you're there. Final breath. And if we're in Malasana, we'll shift the hands forward and walk back. Let's all make our way back through a vinyasa and come back into downward facing dog. Lovely. Okay, so the feet are hip width distance apart. Again, we're going to rise up onto the toes and find an inhale breath. And the heels this time will come to the right. Okay, and then we're going to reach the left hand back by your feet and bend the knees. And as the legs lengthen, this left arm reaches overhead. Please take your time. This is such a delicious movement. Chest lifts to the skies, left arm reaches, and then again, bend the knees. Find your own pace with it. See if you can link it with your breath. Infusing your whole body with energy. Energy moving from your center out in all directions. Last one. Inhale, coming forward. We're going to hold here. Now, if you're modifying, please bring your right knee down. If you're up leveling, your right leg, it's your back one, is going to lift into your left one to get those inner thighs going. Good. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. So pull it into your center. Inhale, slot the right leg behind your left. Reach left arm overhead, and then exhale, squeeze. This is our last one. Inhale. Exhale, pull it together and squeeze. I want you to create more isometric pressure by squeezing the elbow into the thigh. Hold 3, pull the right shoulder down your back for 2. Left hand down and right knee to nose, either wild thing or side plank pose. Let's open that up after all of that contraction. We open through the heart. We find a softness, this delicate fingers, the heart soft, breath, stepping all the way forward into Virabhadrasana 1. Right foot forward, left heel down. Inhale, come all the way up, arms up, hips square to the front. Beautiful. Hands come back behind. Let's lengthen out through this right leg and open through the chest. And once we're here, can you move your thumbs away from your tail, lengthening the pelvis towards the floor and lifting the heart up? So we keep the integrity of the spine. We protect the kidneys by lengthening the tail and opening the heart. Big breath. And then right knee bends. Right shoulder down on the inside of your knee. Yeah. Now, some of us might be here halfway. That's all good. If you are coming down, you actually squeeze the knee into the shoulder and the shoulder into your knee. Yeah. You can come out of alignment, right, by swinging your hip out, and then let's really pull it underneath us. Push the right heel into the floor. Yeah. And then take a huge breath. And with exhale, skillfully soften your body. Find 5% more ease in the eyes. And then hands come down around your right leg, and we lengthen out through the right leg here. It's really important that we have active hamstring stretching. So all the way from your Achilles, the soles of the foot, up towards your glute, you're hugging. It's like the back of the leg hugs the spine. Hugs all the muscles back towards the legs. And then here the spine is long. Let's flutter the chest forward. And let's exhale, fold down, big breath out. Okay, and then left foot steps forward behind your right one. So this is going to be that funky block in between your feet. They're on a tight rope. Yep, and then we're walking our hands over to the right. Yep, once you've walked your hands to the right and you're on the outer edges of your feet, consider doing that movement of forward and back. Yeah, so you're rolling your weight into your pinky toe and then back into your heel. What I want to happen there with those nice flexed feet is this sensation to run up the outer line of your shin. Hopefully you're getting that. You can stay with that little massage, or you could reach your right arm to the sky and find a twist. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so holding there for 3. So you're on the outer edges of the feet, your legs are squeezing the center line, you're lifting up and looking up to your right hand for a breath. The exit is half moon. Right hand comes in front of right foot, left leg lengthens. We unravel ourselves into this really open shape. Good. So holding there for 3. Nice. If you're taking Chapasana, reach back and grab a hold of your foot and kick back, the heart opens. Nice. So pushing into the floor, lifting up, hold there 2. Left foot comes towards the back of the mat. We find Virabhadrasana 2, opening all the way up. Exhale, settling down into the right leg. And inhale, 1 breath, arms reaching all the way overhead, big breath in. Let's windmill the hands down around the right leg, pivot to the ball of the left one. Take a deep breath in through the nose. We're in long, low lunge and into standing splits. This time, right leg lifts to the sky. Muscles of the legs hugging the bone so that we can get a little bit longer, a little bit taller through the left leg. Now, any kind of kickstand that you're working with, or maybe you're grabbing hold of the back of your right leg with one or both hands, feel into that. If you're feeling extra flexible here, let's pull the belly away from your thigh and bring your forehead all the way down to the shin. Nice, G, hold there for 3, lifting left leg up a little bit higher for 2. If you have the binds, let's release that. Left foot comes down to meet your right. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale and fold down. Bend your knees a lot, arms reaching to sky, big breath in. Utka twist, left elbow outside right knee. Now we are sitting low in this shape. We're getting the hips in line with the knees. Let's slide the belly over the thigh. Reach the right arm to the ceiling. Work your knees out, left knee back in line with right. And then maybe that half bind. Yeah. Sitting down nice and low. Yeah, even lower. Some of you need to bring the hips down, weight back in the heels. Feeling into that rod of spine and then twisting along your nice straight spine, especially in your upper back. Can you move your chest forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together? And then a final breath, we're looking to the ceiling. Right arm to sky, inhale. Take right hand forward, left hand comes forward to meet it. So we're in that little like mini downward facing dog shape with the hands forward and the hips reaching back. And then we'll bend the knees one at a time. Okay, so second round here of Bakasana to headstand, second round of Malasana or just Bakasana, crane. So it's your opportunity to find Bakasana to handstand maybe. Woo! Good, so holding there for 3. Amazing. Well done, Georgie. Good, and then wherever you are, right, there's that hugging, right? Even if you're in Malasana, there's a squeezing of the knees to the center. And then hop, walk, float, however you're gonna get back there. Optional vinyasa, and we'll meet back in down dog. Okay, 3 breaths in down dog. All right, let's rise to the toes. And as you exhale, we're bringing our heels to the left. Let's bend the knees. Okay, the right hand is 1. We're going to reach the hands back by your feet and bend the knees. And then lengthen your legs out and reach your right arm right up to the sky. Now I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what's going on. You have your right arm up. Yeah. You're gonna take your left knee into your chest. Just listen if you can't see me, right? And then you can either stay here or you can lengthen the leg out, or you could grab a hold, right hand to the outside of your left foot and start guiding your leg overhead for Vishramikrasana. Hold there for 3. This is totally optional. You do you, right? For 2, a nice option is knee to chest and arm to the sky. That's it. If you have Vishma, we're going to keep the leg off the floor. Bring your right hand down, your left knee to your nose. 3-legged down dog. Take your left knee back behind you. Let's stack and open up through your hips. Either staying here or flip dog. Right thumb comes forward. Left foot comes down to the earth. If you're finding flip dog, you sit to the floor and open up. Again, an optional shape, not for everyone, especially with shoulder stuff going on for 3. Left arm forward, 2. Nice. Stepping forward. Virabhadrasana 2. Coming all the way up. Inhale. And settle down into the left leg. Exhale. Left arm comes up and over. Deep breath in. This time as you exhale, left elbow to your knee or hand to the floor. We'll take the right arm to the sky. And then let's bind, half bind around your back, opening through your chest. Maybe you're taking a full bind. Okay, maybe you're taking a full bind and you're lengthening out your leg for those of you that want a little bit more. Otherwise, half binds with the elbow on the knee is a nice option. Yeah, good. Yeah. Holding there for 3. Wherever you are there, there's that feeling of spinning the chest up, regardless of how deep you are in the pose. That's it. Can you feel the left big toe on the floor and pull the left hip back? Last full breath out. If you have the legs straight and balanced, rebend. We're all taking the right arm to the sky and reaching it overhead. Let's frame the left foot with both hands. Pivot to the ball of the right one. Take a deep breath in through the nose. The right knee comes down to the floor. We're going to shift the weight back. Find half Hanuman or full, yeah? Or full Hanuman. So your full Hanuman, which might be half Hanuman, or in between with a block underneath your hips. Nice. So getting settled in there. Beautiful. Regardless of where you are, right? Let's see if we can press the left heel into the floor. Okay. And with your left sits bone, like look at the person or the wall behind you. And then use that to get longer in the spine. So we're coming out of these really round shapes here, and we're seeing how long we can get. And if you're in fuller splits, right, our focus here is pulling that right hip forward and angling the right knee down. Yep. And for our last couple of breaths, if you're in full Hanuman, maybe you're bringing your nose down towards the outside of your left leg. I like in that variation, if you're there, some of you are, just to bring your arms back with the backs of the hands to the floor. So it's more of a passive shape. Okay. For those of you in half, you're working that long spine and you're really working this sacrum, low back area. So if you can move the spine into the body, shining the heart forward. Okay, so final breath wherever you are. And then let's pull the left foot back. So we're all going to meet in half Hanuman, if you weren't already there. And now we're going to point the toes and bring the fingertips down to the mat. Pull the belly in. And exhale, round your spine like you're doing cat pose. And lift your left foot off the floor. Lift it up. Even the thought of lifting, some of you are looking at me like, what? Just soften the knee if you need to, and just think centimeter up and down, yeah? Otherwise, you're rounding. You might round so much that you bring your forehead to touch your knee. Hold, 3. Nice. Hold there, 2. Left foot comes to the floor as we release. Long, low lunge. So inhale, heart forward, back leg lengthens, and then lift your right leg to the sky for a second round of standing splits. Some of you have handstands or handstand kick-ups in your practice. You could do those here. The cool thing is we're at home. If you need a wall, just hop yourself over to a wall and do a few kick-ups against the wall. Otherwise, right, you don't have to come all the way up. You can just work with getting your left foot a little bit off the floor. It doesn't have to be a full handstand at this point. If that's not for you, we're staying in standing splits for 3. Grabbing a hold of the back of the leg for 2. So good, you guys. Final one there. Inhale, if you're in handstands, let's slowly come down. Right foot comes down to meet your left. Okay, 2-piece fingers, grab a hold of that left big toe. Right hand comes to your hips. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, you can definitely modify this with grabbing a hold of your knee. We're coming up to stand, left leg goes forward, maybe it's straight. Maybe you're grabbing a hold of the knee, and we're holding here for 3. Lengthen the left leg forward. That's it. I know, this pose brings up a lot, yeah? As you exhale, can you bring the leg off to the left? Please grab a hold of your knee. If you can't grab your foot, it's still a really nice one, right? Pushing into the floor, finding that midline of the body and squeezing it. Good. All right, if you have your leg out to the side, we're bringing it back through center. We'll all press the toe forward and reach your arms to the sky. Point the toes, lift it nice and high. Hold, 3, lift it up. 3, 2, nice, exhale, left foot comes down, left hand comes to the heart, right hand comes down to the belly. Let's bring the feet at hip width distance apart and just check in here. Eyes closed, listening to your heartbeat, feeling your heartbeat in the soles of your feet, in the scalp. Notice how it pulsates in your belly. Feeling into long, deep, and prana-filled breaths. And using this moment to feel really big in your energetic body, taking up a lot of space in the room with your energetic space. Like your energetic body could be as big as the room. All right, let's heel the feet back together and reach the arms up to the sky and look up to the thumbs, drishtiya. And exhale, hands through heart center, fold all the way down. Hands touch the floor, halfway lift. Inhale, either hands meet the ground or hands are to the shins. And then your vinyasa or no vinyasa, we're going to meet back in down dog. Perfectly fine to omit those vinyasas at this point in practice if your shoulders have had enough. Let's come back, downward facing dog. Resetting, last little bit here. Let's take a big sigh. Inhale through the nose with sound. This is a really good way of clearing tight liver energy, feeling irritable, sighing. If you find yourself sighing a lot, it's probably a good indicator that your liver chi is a bit stagnant as well. So let's emphasize that with an inhale. Good. Inhale, rise to the toes. This time heels come to the right. We bend the knees, we sweep the left hand back by your feet and all the way up and overhead. Big breath in. Just gonna hold here. This time the right knee comes in towards your chest. That's it. Now you can either stay here, right? You can lengthen the leg forward, or you're taking Bishmi Vikrasana. You're grabbing a hold of the outside of the right foot with the left hand and guiding your foot overhead. Okay, so optional pose, of course. Let's hold there for 3. If you do have it, the chest spins to the sky. That's it. Hold 2. Nice. And then release your foot. Let's keep it lifted though. Knee to nose. 3-legged down dog. Take your right leg back behind you. Bend your knees. Stack to open up through your hips. Either staying here or flipping. Let's adjust the left thumb position if you're taking flip dog, and then sitting to the floor. Hips high. Right arm up overhead for flip. Maybe it's full wheel. Emma. Nice. Good. And then as we come out, we bring the right knee towards the chest and we step forward slowly into Virabhadrasana 2. Coming up like a ninja. Right knee bending, inhale, right arm up and overhead, a big full movement. Bend the right knee and then exhale, right elbow to the knee or hand to the floor for extended. Left arm reaches to the sky. You can take that half bind or full bind. So good. And then it's long. Make sure you're not in a back bend, right? We're protecting our kidneys. We're long in the low spine. And we're bringing this up behind the heart space. Okay? Neck opening, shoulders away from the ears. Let's find that long neck position. For 3. Nice. If you have the straight leg, right, same thing applies. We're going to turn the chest to the sky and squeeze those muscles back to the bones of the legs too. All right, right knee rebends if that's where you are. Let's take the left arm up and overhead for those of us that are bound and releasing. We frame the right foot with both hands. Pivot to the ball of your left foot. Inhale and open through the chest. Left knee comes down. Shift your weight back. Half Hanumanasana. Or full, right? So, or full or Hanumanasana, whatever that's going to look like for you. Can we be aware of our toes? We can either point the toes, which would be ideal, which lifts the pelvic floor and protects those deeper, more delicate muscles of the pelvis. All right, so wherever you are, there's length happening. So if you're in half or you're in full, feeling into your shape and just visualizing your spine. If it's round there in the low back, how can we move your spine into your body and look forward with the chest and heart, adding activity into the whole of the right leg. Notice the pelvis in space, right? Maybe you need to pull the right hip back a little bit. Last 2 breaths. Okay, if you're in full, we're sliding the right leg back, right? We're going to meet in half Hanumanasana. If the toes were flexed, now they're pointing. The fingertips are on the floor around your right leg. We're rounding the back. I want you to think cat pose. Good. And then any amount, even if it's just the idea of it, we're going to lift the right leg up, right? It could be a centimeter up. It could be going up and down. I know some of you feel quite comfortable in this shape. And if that's you, I want you to bring your forehead all the way down to touch your knee. So round your back a lot and lift the leg up high. Good. 3. Nice. Hold. 2. Right foot comes forward, left toes tuck, long low lunge. Inhale, okay, to standing splits. Left leg lifts to the sky. So handstand option here. You can grab a hold of the back of the leg, or you can do those little kick-ups. When we work with that psoas stuff like we just did, usually it makes it easier to catch the pose. That's what we're using in handstands there for 3. That was a deep thigh muscles, psoas, and hip flexor muscles in the belly. Yeah. Always coming up with breath. So inhaling, coming up, using your inhale breath to create lightness in the body for 3. If you're up in a handstand, stay there for an extra breath. And then we're all going to come down. Left foot comes down to meet your right. So don't think about it too much. We're bringing the left hand to the hip. We grab a hold of the right big toe with the 2-piece fingers. Maybe it's your knee. Let's soften the knees and flatten the backs and come up to stand. Inhale, right leg forward or your knee. Good. Big breath in. And as you exhale, guide the leg off towards the right. Okay. So this is all about your right inner thigh. I want you to push into the right big toe if you have this, liver channel, left big toe to the floor. And there's this like triangle coming in right up in behind your navel. So that's the power center here for 3. The lifting through the chest and the heart for 2. And then inhale, come back through center, press the toes. If you didn't have a straight leg, now you do. Arms reaching up. Lift it up, amazing, good work. 3, lift up a little bit higher and exhale again. We bring the right foot down to meet the left. Let's check in, left hand to heart and right hand to belly. Feeling into your heartbeat and your breath. Noticing the energy that exists within you, but also that expands, that radiates beyond the barrier of your skin into this space around the body. We visualize the room breathing with us, expanding and contracting in the movement of our own breath. Whole room. All right, let's reach the arms to the sky and find an inhale. And as you exhale, take your feet as wide as the mat. Okay, hands through heart center, and we'll sit down into Malasana. Nice. So what we'll do here is just make sure that you have some mat out in front of you. So some of you might need to just take a little step back, okay, so that you have some mat forward in front of you. And what we'll do is reach forward and just, you can fold the mat if you need to, grab hold of the front of your mat and pull the mat forward and round your back. Once you have that stretch down the shoulders and along the spine, you can shift your weight a little bit side to side, but while maintaining the pull. I think that is what makes this so extra sweet. Yeah. And the chin, like right on the chest, so that we're stretching all the way up in the back of your neck. Okay, so let's be here for another 3 breaths. Can you find the outer edges of your feet and press them into the floor? There's a lightness in the arch of the foot. 2. Pulling forward. Good, and then just release the mat and lift through the chest. We'll take the palms facing forward and we'll open up to the heart. So we're coming up into Malasana, palms turning forward, but chest lifting. Yeah. Let's go back into that buzzing quality in the palms of the hands and like the sun radiating from the heart space. Three more breaths. Let's just bring your hips to the floor. You can do that by squeezing your knees in or dropping your hips to the floor using your hands. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together. And our first pose here in our yin part of practice is going to be butterfly. So it is really nice to have bolsters around you and pillows. I'll grab my pillow because I moved it. I tend to like something underneath my hips and then a block. I told all of you to gather your props and I didn't do the same for myself, but this is how I would do it, with the block in between my feet and just something small underneath my hips. If you had a long bolster, you could use the bolster on a wedge and hold onto the bolster like this. If you were to use just your elbows, you could bring your elbows to the floor. Let's say that you didn't have props at home, right? You could have your elbows on your thighs and hold your head. Okay, so because we all have different space in the body and we all are using different props, this is going to look really different for everyone. Right? Because my props are in the other room, my blocks, I'm just going to use my elbows, which are a really nice prop on the floor. And then I take my thumbs to the root of my eyebrows. And that feels like a really nice one for me today, but your hands could be here. I always say this is like the epitome of yin pose, right? It really touches all of the yin meridians in the body, but especially opening there through the gallbladder channel and deep here in the inner thighs for the liver. So we've done a really active practice today. So using this time to start focusing more on exhale, lengthening your exhales, eyes closing down. Honoring space on the top and the bottom of breath. And if you haven't been to my yin practices before, I do like to hold postures for a considerable amount of time. So if you're feeling like it's too long for you and you need to give yourself a moment, always feel free to come up and give yourself a few breaths. Maybe you need to readjust and then come back in. And some days, right, we have less capacity to be still, and that's okay. And some days we feel like we can just drop in and be in that really still space within the body and the mind. So meet yourself where you are. And let's be here for the next little while. Still poses create an amazing container for svadhyaya, which is self-study. Studying the dialogue that arises for you when you start to feel something. Become familiar with the way that we try to escape or push down what we're feeling or change what's present. Let's be here for another 5 breaths out. Okay, this is our last breath, our deep breath in. And a last breath out. So that was a long hold, and I encourage you to come up like glacially, really slowly coming up. And before you move your legs, perhaps you'll just sit in a vertical spine position and just turn your palms up and allow your seat to be wide and your energy to regulate. All right. And if you had a prop underneath you, you can just reach back and slide it just a little bit further back. And if you have a bolster, you could lay it long ways on the mat. We're going to do a variation of saddle next. So we just take the feet to the floor. Okay, and the hands back to behind to begin with. Yeah, and then we'll just start with dropping the knees over to the left, and back through center, and then over to the right, and then back through center. And this time, they land over towards the left side. Just take your right hand and slide the top of your right foot towards the floor. So you're kind of in this variation of half saddle already. Now, some of you, if you're really tight in your right quad, what you'll feel is that this is enough, right? This is like pretty intense. You're getting a strong stretch. You can just lift your hips and lengthen the tailbone down. Okay. If you're someone that has a lot more space, right, we're kind of coming down maybe to our elbows. Yeah. And maybe we're coming all the way down and laying down on a support behind you. Now, if you come down to a point where you lose sensation in your quad, what you're doing is you're just moving into like a low back bend, which I'd prefer you to stay with the quad today, right? Sometimes that's beneficial, but mostly here we want to be in the front of the thigh. So that might mean that you're maybe up a little bit higher and you're adding a little bit of yang within the pelvis to lengthen it down so that we can stay here in this thigh area. And then the breath, right? It's like a swelling breath, lifting in the thigh, like right underneath the skin. You want the breath to lift and expand and spread the top of the thigh. Yeah, and if you were someone that has an enormous amount of space, you're laying down, you can add the left knee to your chest. I can see some of you are like, hey, this is a bit nothing for me. Just squeeze the left knee in, right? So you're laying down, the left knee will lift in towards the chest, and then you interlace your hands around the left shin. Okay, so that's an option. Again, if you take something that's too strong, you'll stop feeling it in the thigh, or you'll be efforting too much, and we don't want any of those. Yeah, really nice. Smooth breath. So if there's a way for you to soften your eyes and really come inside, doing that. We're here for at least another 10 breaths or so. And maybe your body's giving you a little bit more space that you can soften into for these final 2 breaths. Let's come up. So if you have the knee, let's release it, place the hands down, and we'll really slowly make our way up. And then from here, we're just taking, if you're using a prop, we're going to come into pigeon pose, or in Indian we call swan next. So that right leg is going to slide back behind you, and the left knee is going to slide just forward a little bit. And we'll take the bolster and perhaps slide it behind your left hip. Maybe you're taking it out in front of you, and we're kind of moving from one posture to the next here. So if you can just stay like really sleepy within your outer awareness and just come back into your shape. And just kind of roll from one pose into the next. If you need like a deer pose, I know some of you will find maybe that too strong, pigeon pose for this length of time too much. And I'll turn to face you. If you're looking for a variation, you can take deer. So you would take your left foot towards the inside of the right thigh. You take the bolster on your left knee, and then you'd fold down in half angle. So that's also a good one if you kind of have knee stuff going on. If that's still not enough, you're feeling uncomfortable in your knee, of course, you can just do this on your back in a figure 4 shape like this. Yeah. Let's see if we can quiet the mind enough here to even feel the heartbeat. Quiet the mind enough to sense into that subtle pulsation in the whole of your body. And this pulsating is liquid prana pulsating through the veins of your body. Liquid energy. We'll use these final breaths in this shape to get really intimate with the surfaces of the inner body. So allowing your breath to glide along the slippery surfaces of the organs. Discovering the terrain of the fascia and the bones. Areas of the body that feel dense or more open. Take your time as you discover the areas around your throat and your neck. And seeing if you can create space around any congealed experience you may be storing in the neck, the shoulders, the throat, the depth of your belly, your pelvis. 3 more breaths. Last one in. And a deep breath out. So we feel back into that glacial movement. That's so slow. And you pad the hands back towards your body. You might have a moment of just lifting through the chest. We are going to make our way down to a rebound on our backs now. So, however you want to go down there, and whatever props that you'd like to bring with you. A rebound is just a rest, it's a pause in practice. So, come down. And as we lay on our backs in this shape, let's visualize the layers of the body decompressing. Like the back of the body could sink 5 feet into the floor, and the front of the body starts to lift up towards the ceiling. In this decompressed state, can you notice how the arms and the legs buzz? The palms of the hands pulsate with all of this energy that we've unlocked in the body. Our own divine energy unlocked. Let's draw the knees into the chest and give ourselves a squeeze. Hug the legs in. Might rock on your pelvis as you circles with the knees to massage your sacrum. And then at your own pace, we'll just draw the knees over to one side, or you can rock up if that's more natural for you. And we'll make our way back up to a seat. Okay. And once we come to the seat, the hands will come back behind, the feet are on the floor. And we're doing our best to keep our eyes like half closed, feeling really relaxed. And just remembering that the energy in your eyes really determines the energy of the body. So this time the knees drop again, just side to side, left to right, just really slow movement there. And the next time that the knees drop over towards the right side, then we take the left hand and we grab a hold of the left foot and we just draw the top of the foot towards the floor. Okay, so we're coming into a variation of saddle pose. So for some, like if you're really tight through the quad, that may be enough of a stretch for you. And if you're needing something more, right, you start to slide your hands back. Maybe it's the elbows that come down, and perhaps you're using a prop back behind you and you're using that to support yourself as you come down onto your back. Good. And then some of you I know are you're drawing your right knee to your chest for a little bit of a deeper pose. Feeling into that if you need to. And then your breath, right? Just like the whole thigh swelling and softening with the movement of your breath. And like from your bones, bringing the breath, the energy up to the surface of your skin. Nice. So we'll be here for another 10 breaths or so. It's not the longest hold of practice. So if you're someone that's really comfy here, just really allowing the skeletal system to feel heavy, like the bones of the body just sinking down to the floor. We're all visualizing the muscles hanging off the bones. And your eyes are receding inward away from the surface of the eyelids. Let's take our final 2 breaths in this shape. And can you lengthen the tailbone down? Final breath, breathing right down to your left kneecap. And let's remember our transition like we did on the other side. We're just going really slow. We're keeping the eyes half closed. And we're patting our hands into the floor and we're sliding whatever prop we need to out in front of us. And we're making our way into pigeon on this side. So, or deer. Deer is a really good option, guys. If you're like, well, pigeon's too intense. So for me, then just keep your leg where it is, your left one, and then just lean over towards the right side. Yeah. With the bolster on the right thigh, right? Or you're taking pigeon pose and the back leg is behind you. Yeah, and if there's any way that you can support your head, right, whether it be with your hands, right, your elbows stacking, or a folding of a pillow, right, or a hugging of a pillow so that there's some support for your head to feel held, that really changes the energy of the pose. I also liken this liver energy to the goddess Saraswati, who's the goddess of expression of language. And it's such a reminder that our language and the way that we frame our experience of ourselves and our emotion and the outside world with words has such a profound effect on the way that we experience them. So I invite you in this pose and also throughout the day just to understand how you're using language. What are the words that you're choosing to label yourself and the world with? And notice the energy that those have, especially I am statements. I am angry. I am. It's a really powerful sentence to say. I am the embodiment of love. I am the embodiment of creative energy. I'm the embodiment of light. It's fine to feel all of those things, but we acknowledge with language that emotion is a passing, it's like a storm that comes in, expresses itself in a meaningful way, and then passes. And you can practice that here in the way that you speak to or communicate with sensation. Sensation, I welcome you into this space. All emotions are welcome here. We have another 5 breaths. Okay, this last breath, take together just a full and deep breath in, a breath that touches every inch of the inner body. And full exhale, soft eyes, soft cheeks and mouth. Let's pad the hands along the floor as we come out of the shape. We will make our way onto our backs. Again, nice and slow. This rebound will actually be Shavasana. So please gather around any extra props that you need. I really encourage you to cover your body with something, whether that be the weight of your pillow or a blanket, if you have an eye pillow or something to cover your eyes. If you have something underneath your knees that you need to use to allow your back to feel soft and supple, right? Take all of those extra props with you, and then we'll make our way down into our final rest of this practice. And divine energy is not something that we access from outside of the body. These practices reveal that divine energy in the form of prana and chi exists within the body. And these practices unlock that energy and give us the tools to train our mind and body to live in a way that awakens this energy and unlocks our own deep vitality. So be with that subtle pulsation in the body as you rest here. The way that the inner body thrums. Now, if we were on retreat together, we'd probably be here for 20 minutes in this deep Shavasana space. And if you'd like to give yourself that time this morning, I invite you to stay laying on your back. And if you are choosing to close this practice in a seat, let's first attune to the sound of breath. Ujjayi sound humming from the base of the throat, warming the inner body. Feeling your body swell with breath in this natural flow of inhale and exhale, just like the ocean's waves. Always in movement. Bring energy into the fingers and toes and the ankles and the wrists. And if you are coming up to a seat, we use the next 5 breaths or so to arrive there. Again, awareness staying contained inside as best you can. Let's lift the crown to the sky and feel the tailbone lengthen into the floor. You shift the gaze point, the space between the eyebrows, and let's bring the tongue right up behind your 2 front teeth. Setting an intention to bring with you off of the mat and into the rest of your day. And let's all stay open to see the beauty of spring that exists all around us. And that same divine spark that is always present within the body, alive and free. Take both hands together at the center of the heart space. We take a huge breath in through the nose and we'll hold the breath in the chest. One more little sip, feeling that breath transformed into prana. And an open mouth exhale as you bow into yourself, fingertips touching your third eye, honoring this time that you've given yourself, this sadhana practice, sacred ritual of coming to the mat. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Mom.
Coming.
Thank
For
you.
coming and sharing. Sure.
Thanks, Beauty.
Sure. It's really nice to share in this space. I really thank you guys so much for coming and, doing the Zoom thing on a Sunday. Thanks, Steph. See ya. So good.
So good.
Yeah. So anyways, just if you want, I'm going to do it every Sunday. So if you want to come next week, book in. Thanks for booking in as well. Last minute, Christina, we got you in there as well. Nice. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Oh, cute. Bye. See you, Jackie.
Love you.
Love you.
That was a beautiful soundtrack.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Got the Tina tick of approval. That's
beautiful.
Good.
I was like rocking out in it. Thanks, babe. Give Jackson
Sure.
this for me. Beautiful.
I will.
Hearts.
Oh, good. We'll
Fucking
see you soon.
I was like, oh my God. I've been practicing at yoke and it's it's all yoga and it's so not hard. It's just like a little